Welcome everybody to RBT. This is RBT Rashid Video Tube. We're just to RMJC Rashid Music Jukebox Center, which this is strongly, a part of right now. And then Rashid, the R Man, coming on live on social media, Google, YouTube, Instagram, and other social media platforms. How you guys doing? Welcome to a disco picture up. How do you like that? Yeah, disco. It's good. It's good to do this. You know, it feels so fucking good to do this. It's been a long time since we did a disco picture up. It's been a very, very long time. The only reason why I can't go all out with this disco picture up primarily is because of copyright. The music is copywritten and all that shit, and okay, we can't show it in this country and all this bullshit. And I'm also working on, just for the hands up, I'm working on a 60s, the hippies. I'm working on a 60s picture up also. Just a hands up on that. This is just so close together, disco and the hippie era. It's just so close together. I mean, it's right like there, Absolutely, sweetie. How are you? You okay? Alright. You in the mood for a little disco here? Alright, let's sit back and reminisce and have some fun. How about that? Sounds good to me. So anyway, guys, welcome to my house. Y'all know the routine. Sit back and relax and don't be so mean. I have some disco stuff going on in my house. So let's enjoy. I also have some shows coming up. I have Space Renegades coming up. Aqua Rangers RYS, and I also have Dragonfly, another episode of Dragonfly coming up. You guys want to be here to see that, so just stay put for that. That'll be up soon. And let's get into the disco era here, because it's the weekend, and I said I will only do disco right on the weekends. That's the only way we're doing on the weekends. That's the only goddamn way. It's on the weekends. We'll do it. Not on the weekday. And it's a thing about it is, one of our viewers questioned how the hell I can do spiritual weekend and disco at the same time. Yeah, because our spiritual weekend start on Wednesdays. Our spiritual weekend starts on Wednesdays and it ends on Monday. And this is every weekend. It's not a spirituality and stuff. We listen to, sermons and stuff like that and get into Christian, spiritual stuff. Not just Christianity, but a variety of things. It's just spirituality every weekend around here, around my compound. And right now we're still in it, and we can do the disco thing, because we do disco also. It's you'll be surprised. I had a girl that told me before. Now check this out. This is what she told me. She said it's a difference between no. Let me get this right. She said that it's a fine line between pain and pleasure. Because she asked me before, why ain't you in some pain? Don't you like a little? I said, no, I ain't about that shit. I'm just not. That's not my. And I respect people that's into that. But not me. She said, well, let me tell you something, Rashid. This is what she said. She said it's a fine line. It's a thin line between pain and pleasure. I said, well, Now for me, it's a fucking China wall between it with me. I don't fucking play, but it's just showing that some people into that shit, you know. Which I don't blame, you know. That's what she says. I'm not gonna argue with that. That's what she said. Shit. So yeah. I don't know either, but everybody got their taste with it, you know. And that's what she said. So when you look at, and the reason why I see that, because when you look at spirituality, then you turn around and look at disco or the hippie era. To us, that's a thin line. It's a very, very thin line. It's a very, very thin line, in our opinion. Disco and spirituality. Or else we wouldn't even be fucking with it. I'm gonna be honest. We wouldn't even be messing with it on there. On this damn thing. It's a very thin line. Just like people say, pain and pleasure.
It's starting to look like a disco.
Not yet.
Hey, catch the dancing booth. The Magic Burger King.
Let's liven the place with disco balloons. And here's some records of your favorite tunes.
I doubt my feet can disco. I've never danced before.
You don't need dancing feet when you have a dancing floor.
Hey, check out the dude.
Doing the disco down.
Down it, disco, down. Doing that disco, down.
And now another big hit.
Great shake!
Let's pick up the pace.
Ooh, shake it, shake it, shake a lot. Shake it, shake it, shake a lot.
Let's disco to Burger King.
Where the smoothest dancer wins burgers.
Or fries.
With these slippery soles, I'll take first prize!
He loves magic and won't loves fun. He's got fun, he's got fun, he's got fun for everyone.
Can I win?
There's some doubt about that, dude.
Burger King, yay!
Disco, the hippie era, Vietnam around that 1960s stuff and all, and spirituality is a very thin line. Very thin. It's very thin. And I don't know if I mentioned this on the air, but around RVT, these are the things we're going to specialize in. Besides Rashid's content. Now, we're WW2 buffs around here. Adolf Hitler, the Jews, the whole World War II saga with Mussolini, the whole thing, dude. The whole thing. Stalin, World War II. That's number one around here. Number two is, I think we wrote, didn't we write down? We wrote this down. Wait a minute. I got it written. Do I shit you not? We wrote this shit down. Let me see. Hold on for a minute. Let me see. Because I remember you said, Dad, we wrote it down. We wrote it down. Hold on, let me see. Give me a few minutes while I find it here.
It's over. 2 LPs of continuous originals with Wild Cherry. Henry, a true connection. The Miracles, Eddie Kendricks, Norman Connors, Wilson Plate Street Band, and KC. Originals, stars and hits with Rolls Royce. Disco Rocket from K-Tel.
Get Disco Rocket from K-Tel, record $6.99, 8-track tapes and $9 at these fine stores. See Woman to Woman today at 1 here on 7.
It's a hot fudge show coming on. We got a lot of ideas to lay on you. You're gonna wanna get involved in the hot fudge too. We're gonna hot fudge you. It's a hot fudge show coming on. It's a hot fudge show coming. It's a hot fudge show coming.
Let's laugh a while. Let me see. It's eras, guys. It's decades, eras that RVT specialized in, besides Rashid content. Let me see. Isn't I don't wait a minute. Let me check on here.
Washington's most extravagant, outrageous disco, 1119 21st Street Northwest between L&M and Washington, D.C., where the big kids play.
Let me check on here. Let me see here. I do a lot of writing, guys. I do a tremendous amount of writing. And I'm a writing ass. And I have a hard time putting them in the same fucking place. That's my issue with the writing thing. I create these books. I make these books, and I say, this book is for this book is for that, and I just can't never. Baby, I hear what you're saying. I just can't get it right. I just don't give a fuck. I just want to just write it down, and then when it's time to go back to the notes, everything all in shambles and shit. It just really fucking gets to me. Let me see here.
Disco the night away at the Galaxy, West Suburban Addison, Illinois' new $1 million discotheque. The Galaxy, with an exciting sound-activated dance floor, disc jockeys to keep you dancing all night, an ultrasonic system adding new dimensions to sound, free dance instructions too, plenty of free parking at the Galaxy Discotheque, adjacent to the Stardust Bowl at 37 East Lorraine, just a mile west of 294 on Lake Street, then south on Addison. The Galaxy Discotheque.
Because I know I can remember it. Alright, this is business right here. Okay. We got one more thing to look at. I know we got this. But we have one more thing. We have one more booklet that we fuck with. Where's the other one? Where is it? I just cleaned off this fucking desk and it's right back in shambles all over again. This is quick as I clean shit off. Okay, I tell you what. I'm gonna try to remember this shit. I know I can remember it. Okay, I'm gonna remember it. I'm gonna dig into my memory. I just feel as though if I write it down, I ain't gonna think too fucking much. Alright, here we go. Number 1 is WW2. Now this is between the years. This is World War II. I don't worry about World War I that much. World War I was something. It was. But I don't really pay attention. WW2 was the shit. That's number 1. Now, moving up from that, we have the Vietnam War. With the Vietnam War, we have the hippie generation. Okay, all of that right there. 1969 and all of that. So we got World War II, 1969. The hippie generation in Vietnam. Then we have this disco era right here. This disco era. That's it. Nothing else. I don't give a fuck about nothing else in life that went on. Because as far as I'm concerned, everything else in life was bullshit. I'm not going to say a lot of it. Everything else in life that took place was bullshit. It's not even worth acknowledging. Right. Exactly. It's not even worth... I mean, you got these periods that it's just bullshit. Like with the disco era, the Pac-Man thing that came out, the video game era. I see that. I was around right there. It was bullshit. The hype part of that is that I lost my virginity. That was the only thing about that era. The Pac-Man generation and all that shit. I was 14, so it's not interesting. World War II is number 1. World War II number 1. Moving up will be the Vietnam War, the hippies, the Vietnam War, the hippie generation. Then moving up from that will be the disco. They're the main things life had that was amazing. You know. And when I go to the hippie generation, I'm talking about the British invasion and all of that shit. That's in the Beatles. That's around the 50s and stuff. So that's kind of like around, because World War II ended in 1945. So that's not too far away from. So you get the point. That's the only fascinating things about this life right here that took place. Anything else is garbage. Needs to just be thrown in the trash. It's just straight stupid bullshit. These things that took place meant something. It looked like they was going to change the world, like something was going to happen and shit. You know, like it was intelligence behind it. You know, and it was a philosopheric time of explaining why things the way they are. You know, with proof. Whether it was Hitler or it was KC from the Sunshine Band or it was one of the Jim Jones or the family cult around the hippie generation. You know, it was exciting times. And those times we specialized around here. World War II, the hippie generation, the hippie era with Vietnam, and disco. The rest of life could just get burnt in a fire. This is a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit. So the only thing I'm not really I was gonna say that. The only thing I'm really not specializing on right now is World War II, because I know that's very sensitive when it comes to the Adolf Hitler. Oh, he's a bad man and all of this shit. But you gotta understand what was going through his fucking head to make him do all of that. Then you get some understanding. He was this, that, and the other, but understanding is better also when you understand what happened back then. So, of course, all right, you got Adolf Hitler, you got all of this stuff. It all makes sense. It has meaning behind it. RBT specializes on that, and I don't touch that too much, World War II, because there's a lot of the people will get the wrong idea about how I think about it and what happened in the pictures. They'll get the wrong idea. So I don't specialize on that much. Unless I pull an Anne Frank up on the Rashid Universe thing, her picture on the wall and stuff like that, and Anne Frank. That's the only time you'll see something like that. But primarily, I don't mess with it because people are sensitive. This is a sensitive world. And I try to stay lenient with the Vietnam War also. So, disco and the hippie generation is the strong thing. So, you could come to Rashid's Cowboy Rashid, and see the hippies very powerful in there. Me talking about them and cults that form around them and shit like that, you know. Very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. Well, this ain't a show for all of that explanation bullshit. I just wanted to get that out the way of the four main fruits of life since America's been formed, as far as I'm concerned. It's World War II, the Vietnam War, the hippie movement, and disco. Everything else is garbage. Everything else is fucking garbage. So, and I mean, especially the 60s, what they've been through. If you really dig into the thinking and the mind frame of those guys, you wouldn't believe people were like that. It would scare you. It would scare a person today. You know, it really would, the way they was thinking and what they did and all this shit. So, we only specialize in things like that around here. But now, today, it's the weekend, it's Friday, disco. So let's have some fun and talk about disco days. I was in this shit, guys. I was in this. I'm telling you, we were in it. My parents was in it. They went to discos. And I remember seeing them with them fancy clothes on and all that shit while we had a babysitter babysitting us. My foster parents, not my real parents. It was a good time. I had a reputation because I danced like John Travolta as a child, and I had a reputation and everything, and I was the shit. And you will hear those stories if you talk to like people used to know Rashid like back in the 70s. You would hear that. But it's hard to believe also. It's hard to believe that Jim Jones actually killed himself. The whole cult. And y'all know we do the Jim Jones, which I put with the hippie generation with the 60s, you know. And he went up to the disco. That when disco was in full swing, meaning when Jim Jones had his cult and everything, it was hot around the hippie time period. St. Ashbury in California and stuff like that. Jim Jones used to march with his people up and down the street and so forth like that. Then you had the family there, Burt, him and his crazy ass. He was there. All of that shit, RBT specialized on. So anyway, 1978 is primarily the height of disco before Schubert and them got arrested for tax evasion. It was the height of Studio 54 and everything. So it's hard to believe that they killed themselves around disco time, you know, drinking the Kool-Aid and killing themselves right in the height of disco. You know, right in the height of disco, you know. It's amazing. It's just fucking amazing. And one thing about this disco picture up, expect to talk about the same shit over and over and over and over and over and over again, because they ain't going no fucking way, and we're gonna talk about this shit over, because there's a lot I gotta say about this shit. It's a whole lot I want to say about it, you know. There's a whole lot I'm just looking through these records right now. I'm just looking through these records. Okay.
The hustle of day-to-day life in the big city. Enough to tie a man up into little knots. After a hard day at the office, we know what you need. We're Spartacus. Spartacus is New York's most original and unique leisure spa. Come relax in a comfortable and confidential atmosphere with complimentary refreshments from a full bar, color TV, sauna, ballet, and your special hostess to help ease the tensions of your hectic day. His facts speak for themselves. Spartacus 1, 146 East 55th Street. Spartacus 2, 8 East 36th Street. Open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Major charge cards accepted.
This is a good time, man. I'm telling you, it's a good time, y'all. You gotta get hip to this shit here. It was an interesting time, a very, very interesting time. I loved every bit of it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was a child, and it was so crazy around this time. It was so crazy that the children imitated the adults, and the adults didn't say shit about it. They was hyping it on. The only thing my mother said was that I couldn't see Saturday Night Fever, because I thought Saturday Night, right, I told you the story, I thought Saturday Night Fever was like Grease. So she said, no, baby, you can't see Saturday Night Fever. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that's like Grease, and it's not. And, okay, it's a disco period. Because I remember I wanted to see that. And she said, no, that's too wild. That's the only restriction that the parents put on us, was the movie thing. That was the only restriction. Other than that, they let us go crazy just like them. I mean, just like them. It was a crazy time period, man. I swear to God. I mean, kids were fucking and everything. And they didn't give a shit. We was like Studio 54. And they said that's the reason why Studio 54 got shut down. Another reason why disco got shut down. Because they turned around and there was all these pockets of Studio 54s all over the fucking place. Yeah, I think that's a cool goddamn story, you know. I just think that's a cool goddamn story, man. I do. I'm making something special now about the 70s. Y'all should see it in a couple of weeks or so. Y'all should see it. I'm making something really awesome. is this show coming out on RVT about the 70s. I'm not going to tell you what it is, right? You're going to see it in a couple weeks. Y'all going to be shocked. You guys are going to be fucking shocked. Just give me about another week or so. Y'all guys are going to be really shocked. Y'all got to check this shit out, man. I swear, y'all got to check this out, man. Y'all got to check these out. Disco had a slow start, a very slow start, but it became so powerful that the rock and roll guys start fearing it. They start fearing it so much that you know what happened in the Vet Stadium. They blew up disco records. Remind us to get all that footage, not this disco picture up, but in the future. We're gonna talk about that, about them blowing up the records inside the baseball stadium and how they really damage. They cause more damage than they know, because a lot of these singers couldn't get work. They couldn't really find work anymore because disco was over with. So a lot of singers really suffered, and they don't even give a fuck about it, as long as they rock and roll was okay. But you see, and the thing is, here's the thing. I want to ask some white boys. This is what I would like. I would really like to ask those white boys. I swear to God, I would like to ask those white boys. Was it, if you knew that rock and roll was going to be the way it is in 2021, would they have still went on and did that shit? You see, rock is dead now. It's dead. Ain't nobody doing no real rock and roll no more. So, ain't no such thing as rock no more. I mean, all that shit dead was Stone Temple Pilots. So, if he knew this was going to happen, would they still would have burnt them albums in a baseball field like that? I would like to ask them, one of those white boys back then who did that. Because it seemed like a waste of fucking time. Because rock is dead today, and they always laughed at the fact rock is dead. Rock is really dead. It's really fucking dead, dude. And that's just something, they did that for nothing, because rock died any fucking way. Nigga music all over the fucking place. Nigga took over every fuck, and then the hip hop is dead. So his shit for all American music, but that's going on. That's another show. That's another show. That's another show. But I would like to ask one of them boys who did that. Was it worth it? I mean, you out there, you burn a disco sucks and all that shit. Now, today, rock and roll gone. So what the fuck? What was it? Was it worth it, dude? Was it worth it? They reconstructing country music to some other shit. And a guy that was rising up in it, they took out. They set him up and took him out. The guy who was rising up in country music. So you can't run there. They getting rid of that. They get rid of every fucking thing. They set his ass up to say the N-word or some shit, and his career over. Stupid, crazy ass shit. I wanted to do that, baby, and I wanted to do that. I really wanted to do that. Studio 54 shit. I swear to God to you, I wanted to do that, but I felt like copyright. I gotta watch those damn copyrights too, because I don't want get struck and all that. But I had a Studio 54 documentary that was over and over again being advertised on RVT. But when I got into it, every time I turn around, I can't because it's copywritten. Every fucking time I turned around, I can't do that because it's copywritten. I turn this way, I can't do that because it's copywritten. I turn this way, I can't do that because it's... I'm like, what kind of documentary is this going to be if all the music copywritten? I can't do nothing. So I had to let it go. And I said, I'm going to tackle Studio 54 in another way. I just don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know. But I got to do it another way because it's just, everything is fucking copyrighted. I can't do shit. I mean, what the fuck, man? Something gotta be done with this copyright shit, because, people want to perform, and you get people on TV. I guess they go through the same thing on this Dancing with the Stars or whatever. You can't use certain music because it's. I mean, it's just, why is people so damn childish? If you was making money off of it, I can understand it. But just for commercial, and dude, we're advertising your shit. What the fuck? And we living in, this is how fucked up the world is. We living in a world where people want attention. Constantly they gonna say my name on their YouTube video. Or they gonna say my name in the business. Or they gonna say, then you turn around and you got people that I can't say their name because I'll get in trouble. It's copy. What kind of fucking shit is that? You see, it's two things going on at once. I hope somebody say my name in a video. I hope somebody do this in my video. I hope somebody acknowledge me in the business. Then you turn a page, and it's like you can't talk about nobody because they don't want you to talk about their fucking shit. That's how fucked up the world is. It's just a crooked, backward ass place, dude. Don't make sense for shit. A ostrich shit make more sense than a common sense in this world. I swear to God. That don't even make sense, man. If you're not making money off of something, then what's wrong with... I feel stupid just talking about it. If you're not making money off of it, and if you're not degrading it, then what's wrong with talking, having the music on, and discussing this, that, and the other about it? What the fuck is wrong with that? Obviously, it is something wrong. Obviously, these artists think something wrong with it. Obviously, they think something wrong with it because they're not having it. They're not having it. They're really not having it, dude. So, looking for Mr. Goodbar. You know, we was looking for Mr. Goodbar, man. You know, and Diane Keaton. Diane Keaton. Diane Keaton. It's like she plays on Looking for Mr. Goodbar. But when you look back at the movie, it's like Diane Keaton. Oh, shit. It just looks like it would be better if a no-name woman was in that position. You know what I'm saying? Because the way the movie is. But that obviously that launched her career. I was going to do a documentary about Looking for Mr. Goodbar. But I changed that because, you know why? Copywritten. I can't play the music. Disco ain't shit without the music, man. And it's hard to do anything about disco if your music, if you got the music in it. It's just, you can't do nothing. You can't fucking do anything. I mean, what the fuck, man? You can't do it. You can't do it. You know, you just can't do it. You gotta be so careful with that music copyright and shit. But getting back to the disco thing. You know, nobody knows where it came from. There's always speculatory rumors of where it came from. How it just grew into some massive industry. With headlining the homosexuals, the village people, and everything. Now, if this is a documentary where I was talking, and y'all will want to see the village people, and what did the village people sing? So I would have to play the village people and their music, so y'all see what I'm talking about. I can't because it's copyright. You see what I'm saying? But we can sit here and talk about it like this, and I could just try to animate what I'm talking about. But I can't really do a documentary, because the village people came out with this song, which is #1 hit, and the song was talking about this, and homosexuals felt this way about it. You want to hear music with that shit, you know? And I can't do it because it's copyright. You know, I can't do it.
Ooh, you're looking good. Got the style that flows.
National, with tomorrow's fashions, today will make you the star of the disco crowd. Get your National credit card in just 90 seconds. Buy it today. Be a disco star tonight. Check us out. Downtown on Randolph Street, Lincoln near Belmont, Halsted at 63rd. National will help you be the star of the disco crowd.
National clothes.
Maybe one day something will get worked out about that copywritten things. Like, for now on, you can use the music and all. Long, these are the rules for using pop music or culture music. These are the rules. And that will be better than them saying, you can't use nothing. Yeah, that will be better if we just had guidelines. Okay, you can't degrade it. You can't make money off of it. You know, but just to talk about it, commercially, it's okay. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, damn. That sounds fair. Nobody wants their music degraded, dude. So, that's understandable. Can't make no money off it. You understand that and shit like that. Okay. You know, that makes sense. To go and be a part of this crowd. It was very addictive. The 70s had everything you need, basically. The 70s had everything you need for a good time, basically. The 70s. Everything you need for a good time. The album covers were sexy. The women were sexy. And it was just a dynamite time for enjoying yourself. It was just a dynamite time for that. We stood outside Studio 54. I'm trying to do the best I can. I'm trying to do the best I can without no kind of copywritten, you know, like I can't do a documentary and all this. I'm trying to do the best I can, but you stood outside Studio 54. Some of them stood out there like a movie. Like, they started early, they wait in line. And out come these two Jewish guys, these two guys, and they told you whether or not you could come inside the disco or not. You gotta be a certain type of person. So a lot of people got turned away. A whole lot of people got turned away. It was insane how many people was trying to get in Studio 54. It was fucking insane. And they would go out there and start looking people over, saying you could come in, you can't come in, you could come, because of certain people they didn't want in. Kind of like RBT. I don't want no thug cool people around here. It's just, I just want a certain crowd around here. So I can feel the way, to get that spirit flowing. You gotta have, yes, what I'm saying, it's not being racist or judgmental or being, what's the word, of being, picky, whatever. But you just want a certain spirit to flourish. And if it's certain people there, it's not right. It's not going to flourish. It's not going to flourish. So I feel what Schumer was doing. I feel what he was doing. So he told some people, and the people he said they couldn't get in, Probably, I don't know. Maybe they were like, because back in the 70s, there was a lot of tough shit going on. You know, you can't have that tough shit. You have to have some kind of like a spirited personality, a loose personality, a creative personality. And so when he actually stood out there with his brother, and they would pick people who they want in. And so you have married couples where they will tell the wife, okay, you could come in, but tell the husband, you can't come in. And then, guess what? The wife or the husband say, okay, see you later, honey, and they go right in. Now, one person ever turned around and said, well, if my friend or my wife or whatever can't get in, then I'm not. That's bullshit. Your ass was standing out there by yourself, dude. And that's just the way it was. Because everybody wanted to get in this goddamn Studio 54 club. Everybody wanted it. Once you got in there, it was no holds bars. It was like anything goes. It's like beyond your wildest imagination for its pleasure and sensualness. You can't measure up to what was going on inside the Studio 54. They say celebrities was going up in there, fucking the bus boys and everything like that. These boys who catered to tables, celebrities was up in there sucking their dick and all kind of shit. It was a freeness of total indulgence of what you want to do, who you want to be. They had this 100-year-old woman in there. They called her Mama or something like that. Over 100 years old. And she was like a queen in that place. And she always got it. They always told her she could go in there. And she was in the middle of the dance floor and everything. They dancing up there and had a moon sniffing cocaine come down off the ceiling. And, it was free drugs, free. Everything was just out. You could sit there, and next thing you know, you're sitting there, minding your business, just sitting there. And next thing you know, an arm will reach over there to you and put their hand up to your nose and push a button, and then the arm will disappear. And the next thing you know, your ass is on the floor like, what the fuck was that? I mean, it was like that. It was the most craziest thing experience anybody can experience. Donahue, who had his talk show, Donahue said that happened to him, which is funny when he told his story, which was funny, that he was standing up against the wall looking at everything. Then somebody came up to him and put something up to his nose and cracked it and walked away. And he was like, that was the funniest fucking thing when he told that story. But that's what kind of place it was and shit. It was just like total, there's no words to describe what was going on in this building. It was amazing, and everybody wanted to get up in that motherfucker. You know? Everybody wanted to get up in there, but a lot of people couldn't get up in there because they wasn't the type of person that they would choose to go up in there. They wasn't the type of person. They would go look them over and say, I'm sorry, but no. I'm sorry, but no. Okay, you could come in. You could come in. I'm sorry, but no. And this went on every time they opened up. Okay, you could come in. No, you can't come in. I'm sorry, no. Because it's just the way they look. It could have been, they tough. You know, you don't want nobody in your shit acting like Dwayne from What's Happening and shit going, oh, you know, Dwayne from like, and the people today, as back then, people today is like that. That's how they are. Oh, I'm a tell. Oh, I'm writing this down. How dare you? I'm writing this down. You know, they made sure none of them motherfuckers came nowhere in Studio 54. They made sure of that shit. No doubt about it. They had a strainer at the door, straining motherfuckers to the core. Of people like that could not get in through those doors, dude. And today, that's all the world is full of. People like that. Oh, I'm going to tell. I'm going to report. Well, I'm going to see about that. I don't like that. Oh, no, I don't like that. They made sure all of those type of motherfuckers now didn't go nowhere near that building, dude. I swear to God. And this is the way disco was. You had to watch out for them type of motherfuckers. Because today, they all around today. They took over today. You know, because you know why? There's no disco. So it's only obviously people like that going to take over today. You know, it's no place that you can go and really enjoy yourself anymore and let your hair hang down and have fun and shit. Ain't no fucking way like that no more, man. Just showing the majesty that disco possessed. It was majesty. It was fun. It's no words. I could go on and on and on, but I can't really go on. I mean, it's no fucking comparison of what this disco was, you know, like in Studio 54 in particular. You know, it's no, you can't even put into words what kind of shit this was. It kind of fucking amazing, dude. I will always be representing the disco era. It's in Channel 48. I don't know where Channel 48 came from in my head, but when I say studio, in my head, but when I say Studio 54, yeah, Channel 48 just came in my head. I don't fucking know why, dude. But it's just certain things in life I really hold honor to. Certain things in life I have my heart, my sweat and blood into. And Channel 48, and, I don't know where that came from, I don't know. But that because that was around in the 70s. Shit. They didn't want no bullshit in Studio 54. They didn't want no stupid asses up in there. And they made sure no stupid asses got in there. They made sure no stupid asses got in there. But you know what? A stupid ass always gonna find a way to try to get up in there. You know, and that's how they got them for tax evasion. Because somebody, you know, they try. You know, there's always some shit. You know, there's always some shit. And that's why Studio 54 only lasted for a short time, you know, just short time. But from what I understand, it was well fucking worth it, man. It was well worth it. In other words, this is what I'm trying to say. Now, hear me out. Hear me out, guys. The date is July 2nd, 2021. Okay? Now, listen to me now. Listen to me. July 2nd, 2021. If this year, right now, was 1978, right now, depending on when you're listening to this, if it's nighttime right now, could you imagine what they will be doing inside one fucking building? Right now as we speak. Look around, man. Look around. Right now, it was happening. The only difference is it's 2021. It's not 1978. You see the point? That's the only difference, that it's 2021. It's not 1978 right now. But it was like this, man. I mean, it was like amazing shit going on. Amazing shit. Like this shit. You know, I watch so many disco documentaries, and I would love to put them on the air, but copyright. They can't. I can't. They copyright. So I gotta do the best I can right there, like this. You know, Chic, Freak Out. They told that group that it was Fuck Off, but they changed it to Freak Out. So they went home and wrote that song. And he was a former Black Panther member, you know? And for a former Black Panther to change to like a loose disco person, that's saying something, you know, how powerful the disco era was, you know? Really fucking amazing. Bunch of people having fun and grooving and acting like fucking maniacs, and that's what disco. And that's what it was. That's primarily what it was. You know, that's what it was. There's nothing else to try to. You know, like, how else you gonna describe it, you know? How else you gonna describe it?
At Plato's retreat, you can make your dreams come true. Fulfill your wildest fantasies, we've got them all for you. The pleasure and the fun will keep you feeling young. It's for you. It's for you.
Plato's Retreat, located in the Ansonia Hotel, is a unique club open to free-thinking adult couples. We offer a relaxing, no-pressure environment, complete with heated swimming pool and that great disco beat. Plato's may not be for everyone, but you won't know until you try it. For more information, call...
The pleasure and the fun will keep you feeling young. It's for you. It's for you. Plato's Retreat. It's for you.
I do run my mouth a lot from the disco. I fucking do. Cause that's where we are right now at RBT Rashi's Videos too. We're in a disco, dude. And I swear, if I only had the rights to this music, I will blast the fuck out of this music all through y'all speakers right now while I'm talking. I swear, I will make this bitch like virtual reality. But the only reason why I can't is because they copyright shit, so I gotta be cool. Well, I'll make this bitch a virtual reality. And I almost did it, but that's what I'm saying. Everybody ran away and got scared and shit. So, Rashi, no, you scared us. And I don't give a fuck, man. That's the way disco was. That's the way it was. You know, there's a lot of cowardice going on today, in today's world, when it comes to stuff we used to have. And a lot of cowardice, man. They can't handle seeing real hippies up in front of them, screaming and hollering and disco music. People get scared today, coming off that Michael Jordan bullshit. They get scared as a motherfucker, man. They ain't used to that shit. Let me see. I swear, you know.
It's great disco music for disco dancing. Ronco presents Disco Fever. Original disco hits with Gloria Gaynor, Thelma Houston, Walter Murphy. Continuous music as played in discos. There's Donna Summer, plus Johnny Taylor, LaBelle, and still more. It's great for listening, perfect for dancing, a great party album. It's Disco Fever, album $5.99, 8-track or cassette $7.99.
At Cunningham's, Woolworth, Woolco, Sears. Also Arnold's, Musicland, Corvettes, and Ward's.
See, I got a whole hookup. I'll make this bitch into IMAX theater. I'll change your computer and y'all, whatever y'all listening to me at, into an IMAX theater. I got this right here, and I got that. I got that right there, and I got this right here. I swear, I'll tear this shit up. But I got, copyrights. But I ain't gonna keep on saying copyrights, throwing a wet towel on shit. We're gonna just work around it the best way we can, That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna work around it the best way we can. That's all. That's all. I'll stick to that one. Love it, love it, love it. Love it. Love it. I just wanted to come off with something, man. I just wanted to come off with something like really exciting tonight because it's Friday night. Tomorrow is Saturday. So either if you're listening to this on Friday or Saturday, it's going to fit. Plus a spiritual weekend. This is awesome, dude. Yeah, so it's like why go out to like because it's COVID-19 bullshit. I bring some fun home, on RVT, But even before COVID-19, we was getting down with this shit primarily because it don't exist no more. But I told you they ain't gonna know around RVT. Disco lives around RVT, man. So you can take that shit somewhere else. From what I got some insight, I got more insight on why that guy orchestrated that Burning Disco album, Disco Sucks, inside of the baseball theater. I got more insight on what happened. I got more insight on what happened. What made him do that in the first place. And that's because I found out that he worked at a radio station. This is what I hear now. It could be all bullshit. But this is the gasoline that fueled this Disco Suck thing, and they destroyed disco. He worked at a record station, and it was a rock and roll record station. It was a rock record station, But disco took over so much that he lost his job, and they hired people that know about disco. So he lost his job over, and that's what spawned him to go off like that. On top of that, you had the white boys getting nervous because these white groups was switching over to disco. Yeah, the Rolling Stones did a disco album. Rod Stewart did a disco album. And those white boys lost their damn mind, dude. They lost their fucking mind when they saw their Rolling Stone group do a disco album. Their Rod Stewart do their Led Zeppelin do a disco fucking, and these white boys lost their mind. They thought they was gonna lose their shit. So that's why all of that happened. Basically. That's what I've been doing research on what the fuck happened, you know. So, and then as time go by, I'll get more information on it. But as far as I'm concerned, they didn't have to do that. Or I still say they didn't have to do that. That's just the way I feel about it. That was uncalled for. A lot of people lost their jobs and everything. Or it was just stupid shit, nonchalant stupid shit. But the white people, they got upset that they was losing their rock music to disco, so they did something about it. Man. Crazy shit, man. I'm just starting something here. Give me a few minutes. I give this one a shot. This will work. So we was very young, and we were in our world, and our parents didn't give a shit. That was the thing, disco, and we saw the Village People. When I first saw the Village People, I didn't know they were homosexuals. I really didn't. In fact, that was the first thing from my mind. Me and 1,000 million other people. In fact, I think women was going crazy off of them. Thought they was like Chippendale. Until they came out and said, hey, we're gay. And it was like, oh, that just totally changed the concept of them. But at first it was like that. You know, women going crazy for them, and for a young man to be looking at something like the Village People, you kind of figure out what kind of message they were sending out for a young man to be looking at something like that. Like what kind of message that was being brought to the table when you look at something like that as a young man, seeing that. All of them were men. All of them were different types of men. All of them were men of different ethnicities. Now, the getting along part that wasn't an issue. It's just the fact what message they were saying. That it's fun to be a man. You know, should we be happy about growing up and becoming a man? I mean, it was like that when you saw them guys. But then they turn around when they say they was homosexual. oh, this brought another light onto their appearance. Like, okay, yeah. Absolutely, I agree. I agree with that. I agree. I never thought about it that way. Yeah. Well, they gotta, yeah, that's a good point. I know that, yeah. That, I mean, you think it's for children, but it's not. And I gave an example about that. I just can't remember what it was. How when you're a child looking at that stuff, you think it's for children. But it's not. But when the child see all the colors and the lights and then you had Disco Duck, you would say, okay, this is for us too. But yeah, I mean, it was the most debauchery things that anybody could get into, or even come near, for that matter. My God, you would start thinking all kind of shit like what the world coming to, like, what's this? Like, what the fuck? But you couldn't help but enjoy this shit at the same time. You couldn't help but enjoy it. Nice stuff. Nice stuff. Nice stuff. Can't get enough of this shit. I mean, you just can't. And the thing about it is, here's the thing about it. Here's one of the sweet things about this disco thing. Is that you can actually create the shit. You see what I mean? Like, for instance, when the hippies was out, when the hippie generation was out, you could go out and get this love and peace signs and flowers and all this in your basement and all this shit, and you and a friend would be down there smoking weed, listening to music and all this and this. And it's like, okay, you build that, you made that, you could, but it's more disco. You can actually go out, get the lights, turn the music up in your basement, put rug down, put colors of, and you can actually create an exciting place like a disco more than any time period. And the next one will be like the hippie thing, but with the hippie thing, you need friends to go with that. They will smoke the weed. They will talk the psychedelic talk with you. You will need hippie friends to do that. But with disco, you gonna be by yourself, dude, and turn on the lights, turn up the music, and let the lights start spinning, and you can dance on the floor by yourself, high, and you can see yourself in a disco. It's almost magic. How you can go and buy these lights and all, and just build a disco for your basement or room. That's exciting shit. Exciting shit. And a lot of people was doing that. So, Studio 54 was the most wildest place it was. It's the most wildest place on the fucking planet. It spearheaded disco. The number one disco ever was created and so forth. Besides, they said the Elevator was a good one too, but Studio 54 was the best. You start seeing these pockets of discos in back of stores, grocery stores, and it was a problem. It was a real fucking problem. So they said, I know that's what they said. We gotta take this shit out of here. Now there gotta be a way we can do it. Okay, they got Studio 54 by tax evasion, and then the other guys say, okay, y'all just say disco sucks and blow up disco albums. And they one was in a political, one was in the courtroom with it, and the other one was on the street with it in a baseball field. And they put their hands together and brought it down. It was a monster. It was a fucking monster. And that's the only way they can bring that shit down. That's the only way they can bring it down. They had to put their hands together and do it. Otherwise, that shit, it wasn't going nowhere. It really wasn't going nowhere. It was getting worse and worse and worse. I don't want to end this show. No, I don't want to end this fucking show. I don't want to end it. Where my Tic Tacs at? I don't want to end it. Let's go half an hour more. Ain't gonna hurt. This is fun, man. Let's go half an hour more. It's not gonna hurt nothing. Everybody, imagine going into a place where. That's why they pick people to go up in there. No cool people. No cool people. I bet you that's how they was thinking. No jive talking people, dude. Go up in there and go, hey man, what kind of place is this, man? Hey man, this is a freaky place here, man. What the fuck is going on here, man? No people like that got in the fucking Studio 54. And that's the reason why. There was people, there was the right type of people. Right type of people. Because they would have been like that. Hey man, we up in this disco, man. There's some freaky shit going on. This motherfucker over here, they open all that shit. That's why they made sure people like that ain't getting it through those doors. And they made sure, and they did a good job too. Good job. Good fucking job, man. When you cool, you just don't have no fun. That's why RET around here won't play that shit. We won't play it. We never gonna play it. You have no fun when you cool, man. You have no fun. None. You just locked in this world of posing all the time for no fucking reason. It's just stupid to me. That's just my opinion about it. Always posing and talking shit. You ain't doing nothing. That's just my opinion about it. There's something in my throat. It's when I'm eating Tic Tacs right now. You ain't have to be like young. It ain't take nobody being old, young, or anything like that. Oh, I'm too old. There's no such thing as none of that. None. It was everybody, anybody. Everybody and anybody, dude. Everybody and anybody. And that's just the way it was. Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I do miss them. I do miss those days. I do. Do I miss the disco days? I do miss the disco days. I do. I was a child, of course. Like I was a child, but I miss the disco days more than ever, more than anything. I do. I had so much fun. I danced. We danced, and sometimes our parents gave us some beer, and we freaked girls, and it was crazy. It was crazy. The Studio 54 is all over the fucking place, you know? I missed the fuck out of it. I'm not gonna say a lot of you. I missed the fuck out of it. I don't. And during the afternoons, I would go up in my bedroom and I would practice dancing off of that Saturday Night Fever album. I would practice dancing off of that. I just I thought I could learn from his moves off of it, and I really was. So I used to practice on the afternoon because I knew at nighttime the guy in the neighborhood was gonna bring out his disco stuff, and all of us was just gonna gather up and start doing, dancing disco and shit. So I used to spend my afternoons practicing dancing. I had a dance partner and everything, man. I was really something, dude. I had attention. I walked down the street and people would be pointing their finger, calling me John Travolta and every fucking I was really outrageous with it. I was a disco head, but I was a child, And man, a dance partner, me and her practice in the afternoons and shit. And nighttime came, they came and me, where Rashid at? Where Rashid at? Everybody, where Rashid at? The center of attention. I'm always the center. Where's Rashid at? The disco dancers. But here's the thing. When I got older and I found out about the fornication I start liking it even more. Like, oh my God, don't tell me I missed all of that. You see what I'm saying? Like, oh my goodness, man, I missed all of it. I couldn't believe it. Like, it could have got better than what I was already enjoying. It was better than what I couldn't believe it. I fucking couldn't believe it. Damn, I wasn't an adult. Fuck. But I still was on my freaky shit as a child and everything, But the thing is, it just still, it could have been better. It could have been better. It still could have been better, dude. And that plays in my head a little bit. Like, okay, it still could have been better. Damn it. Fuck my young age. Then I would go to school, and you would never knew I knew nothing about disco when I went to school, because I had friends in school. And I went there. You never knew I knew it. It was like a real looking for Mr. Goodbar when she went to work, and it was like she was a different person. That's the way I was. I would go to school, and you never knew I knew nothing about disco. Disco was don't you dare play no disco in school. It was like that back then. So it was like the movie Looking for Mr. Goodbar. I go to fucking do disco. Then I go and go to school, and I was a different person, walking and talking and everything. What are you talking about disco? I was all like that, I guess I would have liked doing it. I would have liked doing it. I really would have liked doing it. I would have. But, I don't know, it wasn't like that. So, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all. But, I thought that was one. That's more the 80s, though.
Ooh, you're looking good. Got the style that flows.
National with tomorrow's fashions. Today will make you the star of the disco crowd. Get your National credit card in just 90 seconds. Buy it today. Be a disco star tonight. Check us out. Downtown on Randolph Street, Lincoln near Belmont, Halsted at 63rd. National will help you be the star of the disco crowd.
National clothes.
Spinning, motion, moving, swirling, surging, swerving, action, chic, 2001 Odyssey Disco, panoramic, motion, freestyle, real, energy, moving, driving, chic. The home of Saturday Night Fever, 2001 Odyssey Disco. It's the ultimate disco. 8th Avenue and 64th Street. In the heart of Brooklyn. 2001 Odyssey Disco. It's not just something in the movie. 2001 Odyssey Disco. Be there tonight.
Disco the night away at the Galaxy, West Suburban Addison, Illinois' new $1 million discotheque. The Galaxy, with an exciting sound-activated dance floor, disc jockeys to keep you dancing all night, an ultrasonic system adding new dimensions to sound, free dance instructions too, plenty of free parking at the Galaxy Discotheque, adjacent to the Stardust Bowl at 37 East Lorraine, just a mile west of 294 on Lake Street, then south on Addison. The Galaxy Discotheque.
Washington's most extravagant, outrageous disco, 1119 21st Street Northwest between L&M and Washington, D.C., where the big kids play.
I thought that was one. That's more the 80s, though. I don't give a fuck really about that. Yeah, not really, dude. I was dealing with hard-headed bitches back then. And that wasn't no time era, dude. That wasn't no time era. That was a bunch of bullshit. You know what I'm saying, guys? That wasn't no time era. That was an era of a bunch of bullshit. If I'm gonna do this right here, then we're gonna talk about time eras. If we're gonna do shows, we're gonna talk about this bunch of. I had girlfriends that was stupid asses who wanted to be rappers and Queen Latifahs, and I don't want to talk about that old garbage. Bunch of fucking bullshit. I don't want to talk about that. You want to talk about good shit, you know? You want to talk about stuff that had a movement behind it, that made sense. You know? You don't want to talk about that old stupid ass shit they had. I was a disco kid, dude. I swear. And they had a lot of shows. Like, we would eat dinner. And they had, what was it? Dance Fever. It was a show called Dance Fever. And you were, as a child, you'd be at the table turning your head, looking at it, the disco that was on TV. And that's how we saw Disco Duck with Rick Dees, because I think he was on. If it wasn't Dance Fever, it was one of those damn shows. And you would be sitting at the table eating, and it will be on Dance Fever. Where we be turning our head, looking at, the whole family just looking, because there was always some shit going on the TV set, or always something happening. That's the guy that sing that song. Oh, okay, yeah, that's how he looks and shit. Yeah, it was like that, man. It was like that. Yeah, this is the guy. He used to belong. Now this group was called Chic, and he used to be one of the Black Panthers. And you will never fucking know it, dude. Swear to God. I mean, he did a 360 in his life. Yeah, this is nice. This is nice for a weekend picture up. Getting down, letting y'all know about disco. I'm gonna tell you all I can. I can't tell you the real deal, but I'm gonna tell you all I can, guys. When the disco people, went out and actually saw Saturday Night Fever. Because Saturday Night Fever was supposed to be the disco anthem. Now, KC from KC and the Sunshine Band, he came out and said that it was a disappointment. He said he never saw the fucking movie. That's what KC said from KC and Sunshine Band. He said he never saw the movie. And he's the pioneer of disco. He the one started the shit. He up front with it. He said he never saw Saturday Night Fever, but it was sad when they made that movie because people got the wrong misconception about what disco was about. So when the disco people actually saw Saturday Night Fever, they was very disappointed because they said it was nothing like that. Disco was nothing like that. Nothing. So they felt like somebody took their style and getting credit for it in Hollywood when it wasn't nothing like that. They didn't think, I mean, they was talking some trash talk. They had their moments in Saturday Night Fever now. They did. But primarily on the all, it was deeper than that. Like, he was trying to get out of disco, and be a professional dancer. So they had a Saturday Night Fever Part 2. It was called Staying Alive. Ain't no disco motherfuckers like that, dude. Disco was about, hey, being free, living. You didn't think about, oh, I gotta get out of here, the way the Bee Gees sing on their shit. I gotta get out of here. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. Yeah, I'm staying alive. I'm going nowhere. Somebody help. You ain't think that. You was there to have fun. So when they put that with the movie, John Travolta's part, he was trying to better himself. He got to get. That's not what disco was about, man. Disco was about liberation of who you are as a person, being proud of who you are, going to a place, enjoying yourself. But they look at the movie, and it's like, oh, they got to get away from the lifestyle. So in a way, it was almost like the masses was telling people, you see, everybody, disco ain't like what you think it is. You see? Don't get involved with it. Stay away from it. You see John Travolta, how he was, and it, it's like they was, it's the wrong message. What Hollywood did with Saturday Night Fever, it's the wrong message. And that's what a lot of them said, that it was a letdown. But that's not what disco was about. Saturday Night Fever was not what disco was about. It was about liberation of being proud of who you are, going to a place and just cutting fucking loose on what you want to be, what you want to do. Your imagination is endless. Who you are as a person is endless. No matter what you like in the bedroom, it's okay. Be happy who you are. That's the ingredients of disco, basically, in a nutshell. And I'm missing out a lot of other shit, And it's just sad that they didn't put that on the movie screen. Ain't no fucking. And then when you think of, that's what I'm saying. Why would you put that on the movie screen? That's crazy. Why would you put that on the movie screen? So everybody can stop seeing a movie and go to a rush in a disco? Surprisingly, that's probably what happened. And a lot of people was wearing those white suits that John Travolta had on, and that took over and everything. But it wasn't that movie helped out disco. It wasn't like that. It wasn't really like that, dude. And they had a couple. We downloaded a movie called Disco Granddad or some shit like that. Disco, what was it, baby? Disco Father. It was okay. And they was making movies back to back about disco, but nobody was really hitting what disco was. And I think that's because the industry won't allow the people to see the real deal of what disco was about. They wasn't going to allow that shit, but they will allow the watered down versions of it, of let's go here and have some fun, and hey, I'm getting addicted to dancing and all, but they ain't the liberation part. They're not going to put that on TV. They're not going to put none of that shit on TV. And that's just the way the system is, the industry is. And, it's one of those things. But just to understand what it was talking about, what it was about, it could be really, really mind-blowing to understand what it was about and to participate in it. Then you understand what it's about and say, okay, this is something. This can change things. This is a different style of music and all, and you want to be a part of it and all. And that's what you was rooting for. That's what you really was rooting for, but you rarely got it in the industry when you look at TV shows and movies trying to imitate disco. And they got it all wrong, dude. They got it all fucking wrong, man. They got it all fucking wrong. You know. The only time, alright, when you looking for Mr. Goodbar, you say, okay, I got it right. But then again, okay, what's the message behind it? Or they got it wrong. Don't go to discos, because you're going to meet a crazy motherfucker that could kill you. You see? They got it right in that movie. If the movie would end it with her still partying, hey, that's a perfect movie right there. If the Looking for Mr. Goodbar ended with her like, okay, I'm going to slack up on my partying. And then they show her running in the disco laughing, and then the movie go off. Okay, then they got it right. But because of the message behind it, she got her head bashed the fuck. Okay, they got it right, but don't go to disco. I don't know why they were so against it. The masses were so against disco. I don't understand why. Why? You know, I mean, you understand why, but if you repeat it, you sound childish or shit. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to repeat no shit like that, but you know why. That's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. So glad we got a show like this on RVT. I'm so glad we got a show like this on RVT, man, that we can go back and enjoy this time period. You know, I'm gonna bring this shit back. I swear to God, I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna bring the fucking thing back, dude. I am. I could do the hippie generation, the beatnik. But that's for another show. That's for another show, man. Because that too was an interesting time period also. How they lost, how the hippies lost. You know, when somebody lose a ball game or something, you know, disco lost. The hippies lost. To this very day. And it's kind of mind-blowing that they lost. They never achieved it. And to see people run away from it and abandon it and betray it. That's the thing, betraying it. Why would you betray it? And they betrayed it, dude, by turning their back on it. Saying, I don't know nothing about it. I don't know nothing about it. You know, like Jesus had disciples. And his disciples followed him around. But when Jesus got caught, his disciples betrayed us. I don't know that, man. The kids would say, yes, you do. You was following Jesus around. I was looking right at you. And Peter and them there. I know I wasn't. I mean, that's how it was, that they actually betrayed disco. They turned around and betrayed the hippie movement. You know, all the way down to Hitler, the SS betrayed. They took cyanide. You know, they betrayed. I know nothing about the Hitler Youth. You know, the Hitler Youth and all. But you know, they betrayed. I don't know nothing about that. You know, all this when it's up and flying high, all these things, you all up in the air partying and shit. Or going to Vietnam War, doing whatever, but when the shit come down, you betray it. And all of them betray. Every fucking one of them, every fucking era that I speak about is somebody that betrayed it up in it. Every fucking one, dude. Every goddamn one. Who just turned their back on it and said, I don't know what you're talking about. Disco is embarrassing. I don't know what you're talking about. You know, I mean, straight betrayal. Instead of embracing what you was a part of, you know, it's really something to embrace, not betray it. You know, that's a really unique thing here. What they created, what was created, KC and so forth like that. It was a very amazing thing, and just to betray it is a hurt piece. It's a real hurt piece when you see people betraying something they was into, something that they believed in. You see what I mean? And you saw a lot of that in the 60s because That's all you had was these groups all over the place. If you wanted to join a group, now I know, let me finish my shit. I know I'm talking a lot, but just let me finish. When in the 60s, man, you could go outside and join a group within 15 minutes. That's how many groups it was all around. I know I'm talking a lot, I know. That's why I wanted to make this show, because this is where my heart is. My heart is in stuff like this. This is the shit. But anyway, when you go outside, you can join an organization within 15 minutes of walking out your front door. They were all over the place, dude. Rather it was religion, radicalness, it was beatnik, it was the hippie, it was Freemason, it was all kind of groups all over the place. It was the Black Panthers, it was whatever. And you could join a group with a family in a heartbeat. And it's just upsetting to know that all of them betrayed. They all betrayed the shit. They all fucking, not all, but I mean all the groups disband. Disband. And Jim Jones said he did that because he was betrayed. Adolf Hitler said he was betrayed. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just amazing. So, and in disco, they betrayed it because after they say disco sucks, right, and burned the records in a baseball field, a lot of radio stations betrayed it and didn't play disco after that. So the artists who did these songs were sitting back going, what the fuck I'm going to do now? It was this complete betrayal. I mean, it really gets to you, when you look at the real facts about stuff, It just really, really gets to you. Anyway, what time is it? Okay, we've been at this disco for a while, so we got to get out of here. We got to get a life. Maybe the Bee Gees was right. What do you say? Anyway, we're going to do this again soon. I don't know when. Maybe if I get the disco bug, we're going to do this again next week. It depends on how I feel. I might have a show for us because I'm working on a show, 1970 show, that you guys should be really interested in. I ain't going to tell you what it is, because there'll be a spoiler. But y'all going to be very surprised. It should be done in the next week or so. And plus, I got some other shows coming up, too. Space Renegades, Aqua Rangers, RYS, and Dragonfly. I got those shows coming up. Plus another episode of Linda Lace. Got some exciting things. We're going to continue to enjoy Shison, letting our hair down, and moving forward. And thank you guys for tuning in again. And have a nice evening. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you later, okay? Take care, and keep discoing.